section. With the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You would run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
We ain't gonna waste no time because we actually got a lot to discuss. And I'm a little disgusted. So let me just do this roll call real quick. Johnny Q, my brother Jimmy Bernard, Mind Mansa Musa, Rod Neal, Mo G, Steve L. the Mac, Son of Tank, No Smoke in the building. That was an excellent video you did. Louis Hanton, salute. Salute to everybody. Smash the like button, share the video. We got a few things we want to discuss here. But I want to go in order. Y'all know I'm going to discuss the Shakur and Frank Martin thing. We don't know exactly what's going on. We just have allegations, suspicions, and I don't even know what's going on Twitter. I've seen it all. I've seen a lot of weird stuff. Something I forgot to upload because I wanted to show y'all something. And salute to my brother Artman, because Artman, he gets at him. He gets at him. And I'm telling y'all, I take a lot of things, and all it is to me is documentation. And when I tell y'all documentation beats conversation, I mean that 110%. There are little gems that these so-called fans put out that you absolutely have to screenshot and hold it in your back pocket because it's gonna come later. Salute to everybody in the chat. Let me grab this real quick because I want to show this to y'all. It's very important. It's very, 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 very important. Let me just get this here. There we go. Had to download it. And I'm going to upload this. I need y'all to see it. And I see y'all in the chat, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. But we got a lot to discuss. I just want to make sure that I put this up so when we get to that topic, we'll discuss it. But salute to everybody, man. I'm going to start with this brother, Christian Mbili. I'm going to start there. We're going to get to the highlight of the show and everything else. But I'd be doing this brother a disservice by not talking about him. I believe he's underrated. I think he's under the radar. I don't think people are giving this young man enough credit. I want him on my show. I'm not even clear if the brother speaks English, but I want him on my show. And I want him on the show before he becomes duck sauce. Y'all know what duck sauce is? Duck sauce is something y'all not supposed to be eating any goddamn way, but whatever. It's, you take it out the pack and you put it on your fried rice. Duck sauce is when you go get your Chinese food, something you're not supposed to be eating any goddamn way, but whatever. And when you ask the person, yo, can I get an extra duck sauce? And they look at you strange because they don't want to give it up. Duck sauce and ketchup is very famous in the black community. All right. And it's great on your food. But people act like they don't want it. If you get what I'm saying, you act like you don't want it. Christian Mbili's duck sauce. He's not being like well-spoken about. You know, everyone talks about these prospects. Oh, he's ranked 50, but watch this guy. He's ranked 20, but watch this guy. The first time I heard of Christian Mbili, the sensei was talking about him. And then Connor was talking about him. I said, let me get a look at this kid Mbili. And I'm watching him. I'm like, wait a minute. And y'all might laugh. But Christian Mbili looks like a small Ike Abiabuchi. If y'all even go back that far. he has an Evander Holyfield-esque type of toughness. It's like you press the button, and he doesn't stop. This guy is a hard-nosed puncher and a high work rate. He's always in shape. And he's like the old term. He's on you. He's all over you like a cheap suit. And he's not gonna stop unless you stop him. This guy's a legitimate threat. He is a problem at 168. And I don't think enough noise is being made. Do you know why? Because there's one mofo up there at 168 that got 4 belts. And while all the focus is on him and what he's going to do, you're forgetting about a guy like Mbili, who's highly ranked, but under the radar. He's ranked number 1. I forget in which division. I'll look it up in a second. But there's so much emphasis on Benavidez, and rightfully so, because Canelo's ducking him. Morrell, who seems okay, but I think Mbili will beat Morrell. You're going to have to show me. But let me throw it over to Stormy, because he's more educated on a guy like Mbili, man. Stormy, give it to us straight with no filter about Christian Mbili.
Christian Mbili is the type of fighter that people pay money to watch him. He's exciting. He's always involved in some type of challenge in his matches, meaning that he lays it on the line when he goes out. He's well conditioned. He has a good, solid gas tank. He has a chin. He's not afraid of contact. And he likes to impose his will on his opponents. He likes to go after them in a way that is decisive and effective, especially in this particular era. He would fit well back in the era with when Roy and Bernard and those guys fought, because he would be the kind of guy that would give them good challenges. He wouldn't beat those guys, but he could make their fights interesting. In this era, he's an uncrowned champion. As soon as he fights for one of those belts, he's going to win it. I remarked when I talked about him this morning, and I looked at what he's able to do, and there's not enough fighters presently that have what it takes to have that gut check. Mm-hmm. And he's one of those guys that's going to bring that to you. I saw him in Friday's fight hit Nicholson with the overhand left, and he's southpaw. I mean, he's orthodox.
Orthodox.
But he threw the overhand left, like a looping overhand left, to clear space, because Nicholson was holding the phone and had his hands up, high guard, trying to block the shots, trying to block the uppercuts as they were coming in. So he threw this shot kind of like a hammer fist overhand left that caught Nicholson on the top of the forehead, and he buckled like, whoa, where the hell that shot come from? And then he followed up with the other shots that he was throwing. And I was saying to myself, he know how to create openings. Mm-hmm. That's intelligence. You understand? And it was very effective. And he's the kind of fighter that you pay to watch him. I said he'll knock out Morrell. He'll knock out Benavidez. Because at some point, both of those guys make the kind of mistakes that he lives off of. You see? They could even stun him or stagger him, but he ain't going nowhere. That fight that he fought against Carlos Gongora was the ultimate test for him. And Gongora caught him with a shot that shook him up, and he was really hurt, but he didn't go down. He knew how to get closer to the guy to smother the shots so the guy couldn't get more in on him, which shows ring IQ. And then as soon as he got his bearings back, he went right back to work on Gongora. And Gongora was kind of like, damn, this guy, he don't give up. And that's that kind of Evander Holyfield quality in Mbili, because he understands he could be hurt in a fight, but it's part of the business.
Yep.
And he don't mind. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And those are always the most exciting fighters to watch. That's why the video I did Friday morning, I said the one fighter that Canelo fears, meaning like Canelo could get in there with him and throw those hard punches and hooks and all of that, but Mbili will outlast him. And if he starts to connect on Canelo, it's over, because all that bobbing and stuff that Canelo like to do, Mbili creates openings. He does. And he throws body shots. He throws shots up the middle, you know, over the top. It's like he's good. And it's a breath of fresh air to see fighters like that, because I stopped short of saying he's old school, but he's the way fighters used to be all the time. And you just don't see enough of that no more these days. There are fighters that'll get in there with him, and after a few rounds, they're going to realize either they'll submit to, like, I don't want to get hurt, or I don't know if I can match his aggression and intensity and enthusiasm. You know, remember when I first mentioned him to you, I said he reminds me like a shrunk down Ike Biabuchi.
Yeah, you did say that. Yeah.
He, like if you shrink him down to super middleweight, that's what he is.
You damn sure did say that.
And it's like that's what the guy brings. Ike could get hit, he could get shook and rocked too, but he ain't gonna quit. He gonna be right in there on you. You either gonna get him or he'll get you.
Get you.
You know? And those are the most exciting fighters when you see guys like that. So I just did you watch the fight?
I did.
What did you think of it?
Let me tell you something. Round 2, I was like, you know, you read body language, and there's something called the oh shit syndrome. Round 2, you saw that. He was like, oh man, oh my God, I didn't know it was gonna be like this.
Yeah, because he was down on the canvas before the end of the first round.
Yeah, I was like, woo.
Nicholson, yeah.
Yeah, so when that bell rang, I don't recall the corner work, but when he was coming out, I looked at him and I said, man, whatever they trained for, throw that shit out the window. Because they had to come up with something else in 30 seconds. And they had to do it fast. And it didn't work. This kid is hard-nosed, and yeah, old school. This kid is hard-nosed. He's in your chest. I want you guys to think back. When we say in a guy's chest, I want y'all to remember back in the 90s, David Tua, this is a phrase I love to use. My dad used it. David Tua was knocking over trees. Fiat left hand. He was a Fiat puncher. He when Mike went to prison, this was the guy. He was exciting. He was an HBO fighter. And he came up against a guy named Ike Biabuchi. And on paper, if you didn't know Ike, you say, okay, this is going to be another knockout for David eventually. Round 1, didn't happen. Round 2, didn't happen. Ike was in this man's chest. No, fearless. Completely fearless. And went punch for punch. And I remember people saying, that's not a good idea to be doing that to David Tua. But by the time you hit round 5, you started to wonder, that's not a good idea for David Tua to be there either. Yeah. And you're like, oh, shit. And he out punched David. David didn't hurt him, and he didn't hurt David. They didn't hurt each other, but he was like, yo, I'm here, baby. I'm punching with you. And he didn't take a step back. That's like old school Riddick Bowe. Old school in-shape Riddick Bowe under Eddie Futch. When you hit Riddick, he hit your back. You hit him once, he tried to get you 1-2. He didn't want you ahead on the cards or nothing. When he got away from that, jab, jab, hold, jab, and then eventually I'll land something. He got kind of lazy. This guy Mbili, this kid Mbili, I'm telling you, I'm impressed. There's nothing flashy. All right. There's no sneaker deals. He ain't bouncing around in no rapper videos or nothing like that. This kid is hard-nosed, in your chest, and he wants to smoke. And I'm looking at these rankings, and let me tell you what I'm looking at. I don't know when this hasn't been updated in a while. I'm over in the WBO. He's ranked number 6. Right ahead of John Ryder, right? I know this isn't updated because they have him at number 7 here, but they have him sharing a belt with Canelo, but whatever. But he's ranked ahead of John Ryder. Number 5 is Eric Banzinian. I know the name, never seen him fight, but guess who's at number 4? Edgar Berlanga. Number 3 is Diego Pacheco. Number 2 is Jaime Munguia. Number 1 is Demetrius Boo Andrade. Now, this Jaime Munguia thing, I understand they're trying to get him a fight with they might be trying to get him a fight with who was it? They're trying to get Munguia a fight again. I want to say David Morrell. I could be wrong.
No, they actually were talking about him and Berlanga, really.
Who?
They were.
That's right, Munguia and Berlanga.
Munguia and Berlanga. Yeah, they were talking about that. Yeah.
That's just Puerto Rico versus Mexico, which is going to sell some tickets. But let me tell you something. That right there is a freeze out to Mbili, because Mbili will knock the shit out of both of those guys. I promise you he will. And he'll do it early. He'll have Berlanga biting people again. I'm telling you, this kid Mbili is dangerous. And we always talk about these guys in the lower rankings that, listen, it doesn't stop. Canelo could duck Morrell, he could duck Benavidez, he could duck Andrade, but it's not going to get any better. Y'all could justify those ducks all you want, because here comes Christian Mbili. And a lot of y'all are like, who? I'm telling you, put him in the ring with any one of those guys that I mentioned, those top 5 guys. Let me go back to it, because in the WBC, he's ranked number 1, y'all. Now, Charlo's not going to fight Benavidez. He gets past it. See, this is what I'm talking about. He's fighting Jermell Charlo. Benavidez is there, and ranked number 1 is Christian Mbili. It's the WBC sanctioning body. You can't tell. And mind you, in the WBC, Christian Mbili is ranked ahead of Jaime Munguia. Charlo is not going to fight that guy. There's a lot of guys down there he's not going to fight. I don't even know if Boo Andrade would fight this guy. You want to talk about high risk and no reward? There's no reward. He'll get in there and they'll be like, oh, well, we was all hype about Andrade. No, he just fought a guy like Christian Mbili. That's what I'm saying. Get educated about these guys, man. And
he'll stop Andrade late.
Oh, yeah, he would.
Andrade will be outboxing him, and then he gonna run out of gas. See, that's the dangerous thing about Christian Mbili. Christian Mbili has a gas tank. He might as well be carrying it on his back.
You know what it'll look like? It'll look similar to Speedy Rashidi versus dude that Boots just stopped.
Yeah.
Similar. It'll look similar to that. It's like when the gas runs out, that's when Mbili will get him.
Villa. Yeah. Yeah.
Salute to Mr. J Dub and that super chat. Much love and appreciation, man. Any more thoughts on Christian Mbili?
No, it's just that I would like to see him fight one of those names that you mentioned in the top 5, because I already made my video that Canelo people is gonna act like he don't exist. They're not gonna mention him. They're not, and he's the WBC Continental America's champion, which means he's really number 1. Even though they had tabbed Benavidez as number 1 for over 2 years, but they're not fighting him. So right. Benavidez is in limbo. But if Benavidez don't want to fight Andrade, the man that he should fight is Mbili. And guess what? Listen. Mbili knocks out Benavidez, y'all. He knocks him out.
Go watch him before you say no. Go watch him. I'm telling you, this guy's a threat. He's a buzzsaw. He's everything you want in a fighter. He's everything you want to. You want high action. He has a boxing IQ, but he gonna try and get you out of there.
And did you notice there was no showboating or nothing about his success that he
Zero.
was having? He was just all business.
This
I
kid's
watched
hungry.
that entire card from when I turned it on. It was like around 6:30. Do you know that was an 11 fight card? They had 11 bouts on that card. I think I came in on the second or third bout.
I heard it was a lot. It was a lot of.
Yeah, my sheets that I scorecard sheets, because I do a front and back page on them. I filled up the whole ESPN card on both pages. And the thing about it was, in between some of the fights, they had a few moments of talking, you know, when there was an early knockout or something. And the people were discussing Mbilli's abilities and everything, and they were talking about the Gongora fight, because how much of it was a real test for him, because they were saying like they didn't know that he had the resiliency that he had and everything. They knew he was banging other guys out, but the way he came through after being rocked and shook himself, and how he handled it and stayed a pro and still went after the guy and turned that into a victory. See, those are the type of things that you hear me talk about all the time.
Right.
When a guy hasn't been through something, you don't know how they're going to respond until it actually happens. Like
Correct.
They talk about Shakur being a great boxer and all of this, but we never seen him rocked.
That's right.
We never seen him take one on the chin where he be in threat. You understand? Right. Because that's when the real guy is going to show up or not. And that's why I don't like pass the buck 100% on these guys that are untested. And I consider that untested. Just because he's beating the guys that they're setting him up with in fights doesn't mean he's tested. No, because a test can come from anywhere. The unknown. Boots hasn't been tested. He's looked very good, but we need to know how he will respond if he took a shot that he didn't see, get him shook up and everything. Because remember, Tommy Hearns had a problem with tying guys up because he was so used to knocking everybody out that when he got hurt, he didn't know what to do.
Ooh, I got another example
to get that together.
I got another example about that, Stormy. Friend to the show, been in the Strong House, Michael Grant.
Yes.
A prime example. You remember how they were touting him? And they were like, yeah, this is the guy. This is heir to the throne. And Lennox was still nice and active. And Michael Grant was what, 6'7", 6'8"? Great. He's what we call a specimen. He was big. He was strong. He had a menacing look. And you found out that if he touched you, he'd put you away. But you found out if you touched him, it was pretty much over. Lennox Lewis didn't box him. He went in there and fought him. There's a difference. And I know Lennox did a little cheat. He had him behind the head and hit him. But look, man, it's a fight, man. Lennox knew, yo, look, I can't.
He can't get out there and let the guy get comfortable and feel like he belongs. Because then it's an uphill battle after that. Lennox had 3 opponents that he handled that way. One was Michael Grant. The second one was Galata. And then also our man, let's go, champ.
Shannon Briggs.
Shannon Briggs, yeah. See, he beat those guys, all 3 of them, the same way. He jumped on them because you see, that's where you find out whether a guy can do it or not. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Now, Lennox was not that kind of guy. Notice, he didn't jump on Holyfield, did he?
No.
And there's a reason. Because Holyfield fights that way. Oh, you want to, let's go. You understand? So Lennox was calculating, and when he went after certain guys, it made all the difference in the world. And see, with fighters who have an IQ, they understand that. When they announced that Sebastian Fundora was going to be fighting Brian, what's his name that knocked him out? He knocked out Fundora.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
As soon as you said I forgot his name, but
I said this might be the fight where Fundora gets knocked out because
you did.
Mendoza, thank you, Gnarly Ray, thank you.
Mendoza.
Because not only is Mendoza a puncher, but he puts his punches together. And it's like, that's where Lubin messed up. Lubin was trying to load up with a single shot and hurt him and look at his work. Well, Brian Mendoza didn't do that. When he got close enough to clock the guy, he hit him with more than one. And the dude went down. And you know what he did? He stayed down. He was like, you could count to 100. I ain't getting up to the janitors coming this sucker. You don't understand? Because he made that decision because of who put him down.
That's right.
Fighters know. And that's the wonderful thing about seeing the challenges. Because sometimes a guy will rise to the top that you didn't expect. And then other guys who you think are on top will wither away.
I love what you said. You said fighters know. And immediately, Alexis Arguello in the second fight, he knew not to get up. He knew not to get up. He said, you know what? There was a little bullshit in the first fight about the water. That second fight, he said, you know what? Eric Morales versus Manny Pacquiao. He knew not to get up. He sat there looking at his corner. He looked at his corner, smiled, and winked, said, I'm not doing it. This guy's going to kill me. I'm not going to do it. And look, man, you got in there, you tried, okay, and when he got floored, he said, hey, you know what? Okay, there's no harm in that. Fundora, that hit was crazy. The way he fell was even crazier. I was glad that he woke up. And then when he sat up and looked at the ref, he smiled and said, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And by the way, there was a lot of Fundora supporters that were brewing. I don't recall them calling them for a rematch.
No.
You understand?
And I'm going to tell you something else. Tim Tszyu better watch out because that kid, he's a fighter. You understand? Fighters, the only thing you watch out for Tim Tszyu fighting all his fights in Australia. When guys do that kind of stuff, they usually have a lot of things stacked in their favor, including some unethical things. But pull a guy out of that element and let him fight somewhere else, even if it's at a neutral place. Because remember, when he came over here, he got dropped early in the fight.
Early.
By a guy that wasn't expected to even do that to him. So Mendoza, I just want him to know and focus up that you got to know what you're facing going over there in that guy's den. But hey, man, he can crack and he can fight. And when guys can fight and crack, funny things happen along the way to a victory.
Absolutely. So in closing with Christian and Mbili, that's the guy to watch, y'all. That's the guy to watch. Now, it's boxing. He can go in his next fight and look totally different. But I believe in Christian. And when it's his time, remember, he's ranked #1 in the WBC. And we, Stormy and Kano, and we the only people talking about him. Pay attention. Ricky, is it okay to share the information that you shared with me? Just tell me yes or no.
And as far as I know, because Kano said it earlier today on my show in the chat, because he's been talking about the guy for a couple of years too.
Yeah,
I ain't seen nobody else even mention the guy, talk about him, make a video or nothing. And that's a shame because he's a good fighter. You understand? Yeah. And all this stuff talking about the same old stuff, the same old dudes and everything. This is why people end up getting so upset because They love one dude so badly because that's all they know. That's all they've been listening to and everything. Man, you better wake up and smell what's happening in the sport.
That's right.
There are other fighters out here that can take care of business. They just don't get the publicity. The sanctioning bodies don't give them the promotion and credit. And they, a lot of guys get title shots and everything with the manipulation of the ratings. They pass envelopes, and that's how guys get ranked. How the hell is Edgar Berlanga ranked up there in the top 5?
And see, Edgar
already took a loss.
Edgar had a purse snatch from him too. Edgar got a machine behind him. And listen, the machine works for the fighter, but I disagree with the machine when the machine doesn't match what I'm looking at. Edgar, he's Puerto Rican out of Brooklyn. Fat Joe Terror Squad supporting him. I get that. But it doesn't match. They were trying to put him in the same sentence with Canelo, and I immediately said no. Canelo boxes his face in and gets him out of there in 5 rounds. He'll make Canelo look like it. He'll make Canelo look like Canelo was supposed to look 10 years ago. Canelo will box his face in. Bad matchup. Great payday, but bad matchup. Not now. See, a guy like Christian Mbili has no machine about him. Where's he from, Stormy? Christian Mbili? He's like French Canadian or something?
He's from the Cameroon, but he fights out of Canada. He's French, yeah.
Right. So there's no machine behind him, no Nike deal, no Adidas deal. I don't even know. Does he speak English?
I think he speaks a little, but he's very comfortable speaking his native language.
Man, how do you, again, I see him having the same issue that Artabetebiev has. Artabetebiev, 19 wins, 19 stoppages. How the hell do you market him? He's a white guy from Canada who's Muslim but Russian. How do you market that? You don't. You can get away with that shit in the UFC, but in boxing, you don't. That's why no one in America is really like checking for him. But he's a white guy with all that going for him. See, they'll look at Kovalev, but you see, Kovalev's not Muslim. You can't market Artabetebiev, and he's probably one of the best fighters out there right now. He's another guy that goes in there and tries to take your head off, and he's been successful all this time, and no one's talking about him.
Man, when Joe Smith Jr. ran out there on him, I was shaking my head at the TV screen. I was like, dude, you don't even know what you're doing. You running into, you remember at the end of Bruce Lee's Chinese Connection? You know what I'm getting ready to say, right?
And the screen froze. Yo, wait a minute. You know I'm gonna do an edit of that. You still. And then the bell rings. Da, 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 da.
Yeah. Hey, he beat up all them Japanese and everything. And he told as an inspector, he was like, if I turn myself over, you gonna leave the school alone? The inspector was like, yeah, man, yeah. He was like, okay. He walked out there, they opened the doors up. Them dudes were standing out there with them gats. Dude was like, ah! He ran out there and they froze the screen. All you heard was that was Joe Smith. That was Joe Smith when he called himself going out there jumping on Arthur Beterbiev. And you know what was so funny? Before he got hurt the first time, Beterbiev saw what he was doing, and guess what Beterbiev did? Beterbiev kicked into boxing mode because, he had a very good, outstanding amateur career. So he started boxing and moving. He was like, Joe coming in, all wild.
Yo, this is Joe Smith. This is Joe Smith with the bell ring. He said, you about to fight Arthur. You know what? It's only go one or two ways. Both of them lead to death. You might as well jump on him. You can't outbox him. You're going to die. You might as well fight him. And Joe Smith right before the bell rang. This is him. Oh my God. Oh. Oh, yo! Oh, he died! He died! Oh! Oh shit! He died! That was Joe Smith, y'all. And salute to Joe, man. I said, yo, you from New York? Good luck, man. I'm I support you, Joe. But I don't know about this one, man. I said, yo, Joe, I'm rocking with you. New York, he's from Long Island.
Man.
I said, man, I don't know about this one.
Hey, Drew, can you roll it back just a little bit to where they're showing the guys standing out there with the gats?
Oh. Wait, hold on.
There they go, right there.
Oh!
That's Arthur Bitterbeat right there.
Oh!
All 12 of them. He's
Oh! Oh
locked and
God.
loaded.
Damn.
Locked and loaded.
Damn.
That's it right there, bro.
Oh my God.
Joe Smith come out there like, I know what I'm going to do.
I can't, bro. YouTube gonna make me delete that whole scene. I don't care, man. That was funny, man. That's funny. Salute to Ravens Nation. And that super chat, much love. He said probably never gonna happen, but who would you guys have in an undisputed fight between Beterbiev and Bivol? I'm gonna give you two answers. Well, two answers, same outcome. I'm a rock with Beterbiev because Bivol does make some mistakes, and that one mistake will cost him the whole fight. That's what I just believe will happen. And the biased answer is because John Scully's friend to the Strong House. You know what I mean? And this is no shade to Bivol, because I'll always have respect for Bivol because he beat the shit out of Canelo, and I like that about him. But salute to him. I just got Beterbiev winning. How do you got that going, Stormy?
Well, remember I had John on the show a couple of times.
Yes.
And he told me they worked in the gym before, and Arthur beat the crap out of him in the gym.
You sure did say that.
He said that Arthur beat the crap out of him in the gym, and he said that's why Bivol don't say nothing bad about Arthur, because he done already felt the wrath of the guy in the gym. I'm not saying he's ducking him, but he don't say no bad things about, you know how they say, oh, it'd be a good fight, I can take him. He don't say those things about Arthur. He just compliments him on being a good champion. That you know, but John told me that there's a reason that Bivol ain't really looking at Arthur like that. So,
well, there you have it. So that's our discussion with Christian and Mbili. Let me go to something I read about Jermell and Jermall. They have some sort of internal thing going on, which is never. It's man, this is so like frustrating. Let me say this, man. Don't ever get it twisted. I want what's best for both of those brothers. All right, and let me go deeper. Any fighter that's, you know, straight and narrow, I want what's best for them. You know, and the Charlos are my brothers, man, and I want what's best for them. I get a lot. I get very pissed off. You know, if you think back, what was it, last year, where they were airing each other out on social media. And one of the things that I said was, you know, a lot of people don't understand Look, man, I have an older brother. When we was growing up, if you was a fly on the wall in our house, the amount of crap that we've said to one another, and actually full-blown fist fights, every one of them that I've lost. But that's my older brother. I mean, come on. There's just certain things that you're not supposed to air out. And that's what social media has done. Social media has allowed people to be things that they're not. Social media gets certain people thinking that they're rock stars. You know, hits and likes and things of that nature. Back in the day, if I was going to mix it up with somebody in the street, y'all ever had a situation where it could be going down and the motherfucker indoors was mad quiet because he knew whether it was in school or at the club or whatever, and then when you get outside, it's like, well, here I am, what's good? And then he start talking loud. Why do you think he's talking loud? You talking all loud so the cops stop. You know what I'm saying? Now you got an audience. That, yo, don't hold me back. Don't hold me back. And it's like, yo, bro, you was just mad quiet, whatever. You know, we could have mixed it up indoors, and now we outside. I'm like, what's good? Freaky deaky? And now you're talking all loud. Now you need an audience. What's going on with you? You're not really about that life. Well, this is people today. And what's bad is not everyone needs to know your goddamn business. All right? You got to be cautious about posting your family online. I mean, even right here on YouTube, people are trying to dig in your personal life and selectively put shit out about you. I mean, people they've done it, you know, but whatever. Social media is a blessing and a curse. All right. When I look at the Charlos, both of those men are talented, very dangerous in the ring. But when you're a fighter and you don't have your personal things in order, you may as well hang it up. You may as well hang it up. Because if you go inside of a damn fight with a heavy head about what's happening outside the ring, you're not focused. And you're wandering around, you're eating jabs all night. You're wondering certain things. You know, it's crazy. Now, I'm still not clear as to what's going on between them. I know in Vegas, I didn't see it with my own two eyes, but I heard about it. I think that their wives or baby moms, they had a full-blown fist fight in hot-ass Vegas. It's like 110 degrees. I'm like, why are these women rolling in the street? I remember one of them called their girlfriends a fat bee. I was like, what kind? But see, you know what I told people? Granted, if there was no social media, this might be how they communicate, and we just never saw it. This is the same thing I said with this is the same thing I said with Floyd Mayweather and his father when that happened years ago. And they were cursing each other out and whatever. I said, look, this is just the first time it's caught on camera. They probably talk like this to each other at least 3 times out the week. You saw Roger was sitting there with his arms folded like, here they go again. We just saw it for the first time. Where it's not normal to me or not normal to you, that's probably how they talk to each other. And it went away. It went away. Like I said, there was some things that me and my brother said to each other that you like, oh my God, why would you say that? We laugh about that shit now. We were kids. Who cares? You understand? The bad part is they air their shit out and everybody judges it. But there was what we're seeing now. I read this article. Jermell was on the Last Stand podcast with Brian Custer. And he said, I think that he just surrounded himself with some of the wrong people. Who's there in your ear trying to tell you to get better? If you're going to bounce back, go ahead and bounce back and let that be your fight every day. This is what he said about his brother. He says, if anything's wrong with him, you can be content with just having the issue other than fixing the issue. He's talking about his brother. That also gives me reasonable cause to believe that he knows who he's hanging out with. He's just not going to say no names. They don't hang around the same people. And Jermall is the one that's undefeated. But look, he ain't been in the ring in 2 years. And they know that about him. And I'm going to go as far as to say this. Don't be surprised, just like Andy Ruiz in the rematch ballooned up to 300 pounds in the AJ rematch. And they're like, yeah, man, they probably just gave him pizza and Snickers and they gave him access to certain things because they knew he lacked self-control. Maybe they put people around Jermall to give him access to certain things because they felt he didn't have any control. Okay, poisoning is not only in the form of a chemical, it could be a form of people around you. And now he's having nervous breakdowns and crying on TV and shit. It's like, all right, there's something not right with him. And what did I say about the WBC? Man, these people are symbolic. Now, I wanted to ask Canelo, okay, well, Brian Custer asked part of the question I want to ask him. Why now? And he said it's the perfect time. Okay. That was one question. Okay, so now it's the perfect time. You're here now. Who's on the menu? You got Jermell. Who's next? Is Benavidez on the menu? Or do you not want to talk about him? All right, I heard Jermall's on the menu. I don't know. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if Jermall's on the goddamn menu because he's not right, which is why this is probably why they have not stripped Jermall. They want him to lose that belt in the ring. Want Canelo to give him his first O in devastating fashion. The man's not ready. And I don't know how true it is. You know, you hear things. I heard he was in the gym and he got knocked around the sparring already. I don't know how true that is. I don't know. But this is not the sport where you can't have your head on correctly. These people are symbolic and they want Jermall to lose it in the goddamn ring. Because they snatch belts fast off of black fighters. They didn't do it to Jermall yet. They taking Mel's WBA. He ain't losing it in the ring, but they're looking to take that goddamn thing. You guys got to pay attention to what's going on here. And if Jermall's not right, retire. Salute the Playboy players in that super chat. Much love and appreciation, good brother. He says, y'all make the perfect team. The solid approach to each topic and Stormy's knowledge of the game makes you guys untouchable. Much love, man. Salute to you, good brother. That's why I have Stormy on here every Sunday, because he evens me out. Understand, man. Stormy, what's your take on that situation? You're on mute.
Well, 78 did a video yesterday about the brothers, and I think he was spot on. And because they're twin brothers, this is a little more serious. I mean, brothers can be very close when they're not twins, but these twin brothers have been pretty much in the same vein for a long time. And even when Mel took that loss against Harrison, it affected Maul and his performance in that very next fight that night. If they can't get their act together with one another, it's going to continue to be a huge tug at both of their careers for different reasons. And it's kind of hurtful to have to hear Mel say certain things about his brother publicly. Mm-hmm. We do know that they're not the same guy. We do know that they have different personalities. But it's not good when you speak with vitriol toward your kin and everything, because you can keep all of that under wraps and you don't have to speak publicly about private and personal matter. But if you guys don't think that Mel will be affected going in against against Canelo, think again. He would rather go into this with he and his brother on a more leveled ground than not. but the energy is different when they're not, and if he's able to go through this and not allow that to affect him this go around, because if it's going to affect him, it will affect him this go around. But if he's able to get through that, it's still going to rear up at some point. It will. That can't be denied. But it's just a shame that they can't seem to get certain things patched up. But then again, there's a certain element about the two of them that makes them not get the respect that they should get as fighters, and it's their fault. Remember, we've had the stories of behind the scenes, how they've treated fans, how they've been disrespectful to people, and being at warring with folks, slapping cell phones out of people's hands and stuff, is just taking pictures, all of that. And what's really bad is they come up in the gym when Evander Holyfield was still fighting and representing as a top elite heavyweight fighter and champion. So it's like it's not like they don't know how to carry themselves. You're making a conscious choice and decision to be this type of a person. I have made the decision to speak about Mel Charlo and what I think of him as a professional fighter in the ring, but the outside of the ring part is so overwhelming that you almost can't not look at it. You know what I mean? Because at some point you have to wonder, is like, what is more important to him? What is more important? We saw that happen with Mike Tyson once he got away from the people who were originally guiding his career. When he got with Don King exclusively, all of the rebel rousing and the undisciplined and the ways of the street and all of that began to creep into his professional life. It was only a matter of time when the lines got erased. But when he was with the other people, they held a certain discipline with him, and he respected that because he needed that type of guidance, being such an immature young man. See, you listen to him now, and he'll say some real emphatic, profound remarks and statements, things that can make you ponder and wonder, like, he's got a great point. He's wise. No, he's not. He's conflicted. And the confliction is there because that's a voice of reasoning speaking at one time, and the actions of ignorance taking over at other times. That's why he can go from sitting there talking cool with you and intelligently, and then the next moment he's talking about what he want to do to you and violate you and stuff like that. See, that there's something wrong there. That's like bipolar behavior.
Yeah.
And again, when you talk about these guys, they may have, and don't forget, we talk about the sport of boxing, but when people have these type of issues, they're actually getting punched in the head for a living, bro. That doesn't help. At the end of the day, it doesn't help at all.
Time out, Stormy. Chat, do me a favor. Everybody at Champy and put an EAD in the chat right now. It's an acronym for Eda Disnick. Take a minute and at Champy and say EAD. Thank you. Go ahead, Stormy. Get my views up though, Champy. God damn. I'm not your dad. Where's Champy's mom? Anyway, go ahead, Stormy.
Yeah, this guy. Nothing I say has anything to do with any hate or anything. It's speaking from a place of intellectual insight. But when you don't have a mind, you can't match wits. Just understand that. Chump.
Yeah. Chumpy, exactly. Take a moment to go to our brother Platboy Plays. Click on his name, go to his channel, and subscribe. Let's get him to 500 subs, brothers and sisters. There's enough out here for everybody to eat, make some money. Platboy Plays is a good brother. You know what I'm saying? And Champion, I want you to take note. You know, I don't know what's wrong with you. Well, I can only imagine what's wrong with you. But I'm in the, like, you know, it's more fulfilling for me in this space to help people and build relationships. I don't like, you know, bickering and just beefing and stuff like that. It's come to me. I've never like just got on here and said, yo, look, this is my problem with so-and-so. I've never done that. People that live in chaos like that, there's something wrong with y'all. I mean, so much, Thomas, what up? So much to the point where there's people with these giant channels, 50 subs, 50,000 subs and things of that nature. And you know, y'all are getting bothered by people that, you know, really shouldn't matter in your life. I mean, it's gotten to that. And if you're content with what you're doing in your personal space, to be content, no one should be able to rattle that fence. And I know it's easier said than done. I had to learn that. I don't know everything, but I'm content. I'm very content. You understand? Yeah, Platboy says he thinks he's blocked on your channel, Stormy. This is something that, and listen, y'all.
He's not blocked on my channel. I just went to his page and looked at up there where it'll let you know.
Yeah, they say he don't get notifications. They do this to us all the time, man. They do this to us all the time. They don't send out notifications.
What you can do, Platboy, you could subscribe and unsubscribe. If you're already subscribed, unsubscribe and resubscribe, then hit all the bell notifications. But that's the best way that, you know, that I could tell you to do it, because I've had to do that to 78's channel, you know, on a couple of occasions. You know, I've been subscribed to the guy and then just go in there, unsubscribe and resubscribe, hit the bell notifications, you know.
It's like you got to reset the damn game. You know what I mean? It's crazy, but you see, if you're a content creator and you're serious about it, it makes more sense to, you ever heard the phrase, make love, not war?
Yeah, absolutely.
You understand? You build relationships, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know everything, but I know enough. And I want to see people shine. And getting on here and beefing because you have a love affair with a fighter, or you just don't agree with what I'm saying. I mean, that's just like disgusting, dude. Yeah, Acondo, I block this dude at least 3, 4, 5 times a month. But the fact that he keeps coming back to get my views up, you understand? The trippy part about YouTube in this boxing community is that once they put some money behind this YouTube thing, some of y'all niggas lost your mind. And I said this a bunch of times that it bears repeating. I didn't get on here to make bread. I came on here to support a movement. Because once upon a time, I couldn't go talk boxing and engage in a friendly conversation where I go to a page and as soon as I say I'm picking fighter A over fighter B, I'm getting called all kinds of monkeys. And guess what? You know why they were calling me a monkey? I didn't show my face. I'm like, what makes them think I'm black? Oh, I picked Tim Bradley over Juan Manuel Marquez. Oh, I said, yo, I'm you know, I think Tim Bradley has a chance against Pacquiao, but I don't know. So then I met with monkey and chicken and watermelon emojis. So when 78 says, look, we're going to start our own space over here. We're going to talk boxing over here. If you don't want to be called or out your name, come over here and just talk boxing. It wasn't exclusive to black people. and we came over here in our own space and we're talking boxing, you ain't got to agree. Hell, people in the LDBC don't agree all the time on fight outcomes. You don't. But we're respectful and we're family. And when we're in our own space talking boxing, here come you motherfuckers coming over here bothering us. I mean, for what? What are you doing that for? I mean, really, why are you doing that? I don't go anywhere with someone that's just going off and it goes from, I picked this fighter against this fighter and I don't like that fight anyway because that's an LDBC fighter and, you know, all this other weird stuff. I mean, what the hell is really wrong with you? Other than your wife don't like you and you're paying child support. And this YouTube check has become a part of your life. You can cut this shit off for me, right? If YouTube says, sorry, this is not profitable for us no more, but you can keep doing content, I'm gonna still do content. I'm good. I came here to support a movement. Anything I make off of here is extra. But I always said, if I start getting a check from this, I'm gonna treat it like a business because I'm professional like that. And that's what I've done. And I had to learn as I had to build the plane as I flew it. And I've gotten pretty good at it. I'm not the best, but I've gotten pretty good at it. I've made a lot of brilliant relationships. I built a lot of brilliant relationships, and there's a lot of relationships that I had to let go. But when you see people like Champy coming up in here, that's like his 15th account. And he's everywhere. He bothers me. He tries to bother me. Pops up in Stormies, all over BFTBs. And I mean, what are you doing, dude? I mean, seriously, what are you doing? Can you explain to your girlfriend or boyfriend, however you get down, that you took time out tonight to come in here and do what exactly? Because you're not talking boxing. Is it apparent that I don't even want to talk to you? Why are you here? Why are you gay? Everything that I put up on here, do y'all understand the monkey videos and the why are you gay? And I used to blow for coke, all these guys, all of those things that I put in. Do y'all understand it?
We actually have intelligent conversations on the subject that we discuss. And to have someone come in here and call us what we speak in hate, or to say that we are biased or something like that. What's interesting is we've already defined what our positions are.
Yep.
And to be able to have a discussion about anything, what it tells me is it's just another one of those race soldiers that comes out of the woodwork that wants to put down anything that we do.
That's right.
We could be sitting up here talking about baked bread, and they would come in here and say trifling little remarks and things of that nature. And it's really ridiculous because there are places to go to spew those thoughts and feelings and emotions. But here, there's no space or room for that. Look at what we do. We can intelligently articulate our thoughts about the fight game, the fighters, what's wrong with the sport, what's good about the sport. Just like a moment ago where Drew pulled up that clip and we were having a great laugh about the Bruce Lee film and what we were talking about Joe Smith. It's like, that's good stuff. It's entertaining. We saw the chat filled with laughing emojis. It's like, that's why we enjoy what we do. We don't do this to put anybody down or anything down. The things that I was just saying about the Charlo brothers, if you guys could pay a few $100s to see a shrink would say the same damn thing. Sure. I'm speaking from a position of life experience and witnessing things, taking note of things. Mm-hmm. This is not just someone blowing smoke. And to come in here and be disruptive or try to be disruptive, it's just an element of your own ignorance that you're showing. And foolishness, because a person that would go and make multiple accounts just to do the same thing,
that's sick.
Is the definition of insanity, right?
That's insane. You're doing the same thing over and expecting different results, but you see, you're cool with you're cool in here. You're trying to disrupt, but really, you're making a fool of yourself. Now, you see, Champy, let's do this. if he had wanted to get to 1,000 subs and make some money at this thing, wouldn't it make more sense to make friends on YouTube rather than be a retard and jumping in chats and acting foolish? You can't keep a channel. We done blocked them all. So what exactly are you doing? And you've been watching me the whole time. And the moment I mention Canelo's name, here you come. So I already know how you get down. I already know what your ethnicity is. You ain't say nothing about Christian and Mbili. You ain't say nothing about Jermell, Jermall. The minute I said Canelo. The minute I said Canelo. In fact, you was quiet when I said, hey, man, Canelo would have boxed Berlanga's face in. Berlanga isn't not in the same stratosphere as Canelo. But this kid Mbili will give Canelo a headache. And then, boom, here you come on a brand new account. So, kid, come on. Come on. Well, come on and get my views up. I appreciate that much. But, dude, you'd be doing a hell of a lot better trying to be productive. You could love Canelo. We got people in the LDBC that love Canelo. You could love Canelo. I just think there's some crap with him. You understand? But I ain't going to waste no more time on, you know, get to the back of the classroom. That's what you do. Because I appreciate you showing up. You got my views up. I appreciate that. Eric Jordan in that super chat, he said, monkey. Always have to hate. Funk you, monkey. Yeah, you know what time it is. And salute to my brother, Eric Jordan. He's everywhere, always supporting. You see, Champy, because you can't read, you're going to try and disrupt the whole class. But it's still beneficial. Every time I block you and you come back, it's a view. You're actually helping me. And I keep telling you trolls that. So anyway, exactly, Phenomenal Mexican. Our sister Boxiana loves Canelo. And that's just it. What am I going to do? Curse her out? No. I have my opinion. She has hers. And that's the end of it. Now, that's the beef with Jermell and Jermall. And I know what Canelo's up to, and I don't agree with it. That's why I think everybody at 168 should fight each other and freeze them the hell out, but they ain't gonna do it. The PBC signed them, and they need a return on their investment. I don't know what the dollar sign is behind that, but I mean, I don't like it because of what Canelo said and how he's behaved. So let's go on to the meat and potatoes of this. Shakur versus Frank Martin. What in the actual ass happened? I'm gonna go to you first, Stormy, because I'm gonna tell you what I heard. I was just talking to my brother Ricky Williams. I'll tell you what he told me, what he heard. Right? We won't know until Frank Martin actually says something. Probably tomorrow, probably tonight. I don't know. But right now, this is all speculation. I don't know. And salute to salute to my brother Josiah Matthews. He says he got his nigger sword out.
Give power to my nigger sword!
Salute, good brother, man. GD, salute, man. So, Stormy, what's your take on what's going on here? What do you think? What do you think's going on?
Frank Martin's nuts shrank.
Mm.
And some people can attach that to economics, but we have learned that the recent decision to not face another guy because of the money, it's a way of avoiding fights that the public may clamor for. It's a way for guys to stay out of, especially when the fight at hand is a fight that you're going to make more money than you've ever made in your career to begin with. And you can fight a couple of fights after turning this down and won't make that amount of money. Mm-hmm. So, again, welcome to the new way of avoiding competition. And just like Demetrius Andre did many moons ago at 154, he had a fight all ready to go with Charlo, and he pulled out. At that time, it was later stated that somebody had promised him that they could get him a better deal. And what deal did he find? The raw kind, right up the backside, huh?
Oh,
No Vaseline.
oh my God.
He never
This
recovered.
right here.
There you go. He never recovered from it, did he? He's still searching for the opportunity to be the major B-side player, huh? And look at him, huh? When that happens, it's just like the guy that takes the knee, Danny Dubois.
Oh.
When you take it the first time, it becomes easier and easier in the thereafter. Because what you find is that the pads, the knee pads, huh? You keep them in the bucket just like you have the Answell, huh? Yeah, that's what happens. And it's ridiculous because all you got to do is go in there and be a professional, perform. Do you think firemen want to come out in the middle of the night, leaving their families in bed at home and everything on a cold winter night because one of y'all plugged too much stuff in the electrical outlet and then trying to burn the house down and everything? And they got to come out and save you for your ignorance, huh? But it's what they signed up for. And so therefore, here they come. But see, you could have prevented that, huh? There's something called fire code, isn't it, huh? And you need to know it, but you don't care, especially when you drinking all them ice houses and everything, huh? And your little bad children running around sticking forks in the outlet and everything, and you don't know nothing about it because you don't tell them or teach them anything. But hey, remember, I can go all different kind of ways with this to support what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, Frank Martin, people are not going to forget. They are not going to forget. You will not recover from this because this was your moment. You might have thought your moment is going to be multi-millions, huh? But there's a way to earn and there's a way to learn, huh? And what you fail to do is learn. And so now the career will burn. Yeah, there's the bars right there. You understand? And I'm going to tell you something. Boxing fans, more than any other fan in professional sports, are unforgiving when you do foolishness like this. Unforgiving. It's unprofessional. The fight was signed.
Yep.
The date was made. And then you came up and said, I don't think I want to do it. Well, why don't you walk away from the sport, my friend? Because there'll always be another one to come up and take your place. In fact, I think that train is due. Huh? Yeah.
How old is Frank Martin?
Damn near 30.
This is not the time. He don't have time on his side to be declining things like that. This being that that Shakur Sanchez was put on this pedestal, this was his moment. In my opinion, again, look, it's easy for us to say on the outside, we don't know what their bills look like. But again, let me say this. Let me start from the beginning. I was talking to the brother Ricky Williams, and he told me what he heard. So before y'all get all crazy, Ricky's not saying this is definite. This is alleged. Short story. People were acting on Frank's behalf. They made the fight. They're going to give Frank $1 million. He wanted $2 million. Bob said no, and he walked away from the fight. Allegedly. This is all alleged. Alleged. We don't know because Frank hasn't spoken yet. We don't know. Now, before I go any further, he's about to make $1 million fighting Shakur.
More than he's ever made.
That's more than he's ever made. That's number one. All right. Number two, you have a shot to beat Shakur. Ain't no real. There was a belt involved. But they put Shakur on this pedestal, and you were gonna be that person. Rachel Nonito, what up? You were gonna be that person to try and dethrone that, to stop that train before it really got started. And you didn't do it. And this is, I'm responding based off of what the alleged, let me put this allegedly by Ricky. This is all alleged, y'all, because we don't know. I'm just going off of the news that we got. This is all alleged. If that's the case, if he walked away from $1 million, that's strange to me because that's more than what he's made. There was a belt on the line, and you could have stopped the Shakur train before, it really, it actually left the station at 135. And
that was a possible trifecta there you just pointed out. Yep. The money, the name, and the title.
And you walked away. So I don't understand. Now, allegedly, Shakur was going to make 6. And he wasn't satisfied with 1, and he wanted 2. So he understood he was the B-side. And if he wasn't getting 2, he walked away.
And not only that, you want to be overcompensated, overpaid for possibly not achieving.
Bro. Doesn't this, thank you, Ricky. Ricky on it. Doesn't all of this sound familiar? Didn't we just go through this with Shakur? Now listen, if this is true, if we held Shakur accountable for that, we gotta hold Frank accountable for this. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. We running around here talking about, Shakur should have took the Devin fight. There was 4 belts on the line. 25% was going to be more than what he was making against Frank Martin. And plus, a shot at Undisputed at a drained Devin Haney. That was a slam dunk. And he said,
you think that you're the best fighter in the sport of boxing?
Come on now.
Floyd would have taken that fight in a heartbeat. They wouldn't have been able to finish the sentence. Floyd would be signing a blank sheet of paper to take the damn fight.
This is the same thing. And I'm still on Shakur's bumper for that. That was a dick move. So now, if what I was told is true, because again, y'all, this is all alleged. We don't know. But if this is the case, we got to hold Frank Martin accountable. Like, my man, you about to be Boo Boo Andre 2.0. Because now I'm going to ask Frank the same thing. Bro, listen, man. First of all, I was rooting for you. That's number one. Let's just get that out there. I was rooting for you. And let me be clear, because a lot of y'all don't understand. Rooting for a fighter and picking a fighter are 2 different things. All right? If I say, okay, I see this fight, this fighter A, fighter B, I'm going to pick fighter B. Oh, you hate on fighter A. No, I don't. I'm just picking B. I have to pick a winner. All right? I was rooting for Frank because I don't like how Shakur is moving. Now, was he going to beat Shakur? I don't know. But I was rooting for Frank. And now Frank pulled the same move on Shakur that Shakur pulled on Devin. So we could laugh and say, hey, Shakur, this is karma. But you know why that's stupid? Because at the end of the day, we're not getting that goddamn fight. Hello? Are y'all paying attention? We're not getting what we want. Sidebar. Did y'all hear what Big Baby said? And this is all relevant. Are y'all comfortable with Big Baby right now? Did y'all hear what he said? Stormy, could you tell the audience what Big Baby said?
He crying because he's scared. Him scared. Huh? Because, and I gotta give my girl Lala D a shout out on this one because she She asked me a question earlier today on the show, and I gave her credit for having such insight. She said, Stormy, is it that he got hurt in that last fight and he's not necessarily comfortable and confident, so now he doesn't know, he's not certain if he wants to do this because he realizes that it could be him? I gave her so much credit for saying that.
Victor Ortiz.
Because I was going to say that in a video. Because the Prince Charles Martin fight showed something. It showed that he could be hurt. It showed that he has glaring weaknesses. Yep. And it was an experienced older fighter that really wasn't trained up for him. He took the fight on a short notice, but he wasn't trained up for him, and did some things. And even people, including myself, said we think that Charles took it a little easy on him.
Yes.
Well, if Prince Charles can do that, what will some of these other top flight guys do to him? And then I began to think about the rumors that we heard. Remember the rumors of what he's doing to Tyson Fury in the gym and stuff like that? Well, it's easy to do that to a dope and cokehead, huh? It is. Someone who ain't trained up. You know, you seen the belly on the guy, huh? He takes PEDs, for stamina and things like that, but it don't have nothing to do with his abilities, huh? Because he definitely ain't using it for weight training and stuff like that. So we know he saves the better part of his hour to go and sniff on that powder. Yeah, that's what he does. So it's easy to beat up on guys like that, but not to be distracted. Jermell says that he wants to make some money for his family and get out and go do something else. What, pray tell, might that be? Go to college or something? Huh? What, or start a business? Huh? Big babies, baby back ribs? Huh? Because I'm going to tell you something, son. Just like Frank exposed himself, you guys might as well do the full Monty. Pull your pants down. Because you done exposed yourselves, you and Frank Martin. There's no coming back from that. Crying on Roy Jones' shoulder, huh? People done seen you now, bruh.
Yeah, man.
They done seen you.
Victor Ortiz all over again, bro.
This is softer than wet toilet paper, huh? You don't get softer than wet toilet paper, but you somehow managed that. What the hell is wrong with these guys?
Stormy, do you remember the baby bull, Juan Diaz?
Yes.
Exciting fighter.
He was all right till it happened to him, wasn't he?
That's right. Exciting fighter. And here's why I brought him up. Very exciting. HBO loved him. He was Mexican American, right? And then he ran into one of my favorite fighters. Not only my favorite Mexican fighter, but one of my favorite fighters, Juan Manuel Marquez. If you've never seen that fight, it's got to be on YouTube. Get some popcorn and watch Juan Manuel Marquez versus the baby bull Juan Diaz. Not David Diaz, the one that Pacquiao beat up. I'm talking about Juan Diaz. Juan Diaz was an HBO fighter. He was highly touted, and he was nice with it. And that was an exciting fight because back then Marquez was the old dog, and the baby bull. Of course, you pluck Marquez on the nose, his nose breaks. He's bleeding, breathing through his mouth, hurt, but that experience kicked in. And just watch the fight. And now I was in my house. Oh, crazy. Listen. After that fight, they fought twice. After that fight, this kid took his money and went and finished school. And you don't see him no more. I don't know what he's doing, but he went and got his education. In other words, he got HBO money. He got some great paydays. And he said, you know what? I ain't finna do this all my life. I'm doing something else. And he got in and out the game. I would love to talk to him. And I'm not clowning him, because boxing is no joke. You could have an easy way in the Golden Gloves and the amateurs, maybe the Olympics. And then when you come in the pros, no headgear and everything else, you get cut up.
But there's one difference about Baby Bull.
Go ahead.
He was a scholar before fighting.
True story. True story. He was he damn sure was.
Big Baby is full of bull because he been running around doing his thing, enjoying decapitating other folks. But when he was damn near decapitated, he looked around with that damn look that people have on their face when they go through an intersection in a red light camera. You know, and that flat, they looking, you know. It's like, yeah, you caught you. Huh?
Got it.
Yeah. So that's that look he had. But he ain't no damn scholar. Huh?
Good. They said Baby Bull got a successful trucking company. I'm happy for him, because that's all I want for these fighters. If you're not in the game, when you leave, you got to have something. You got to have something. Because if you ain't got nothing. And salute to my brother. I had the super chat up here for a while. Salute to my brother Ricky Williams in the super chat. He said it's a duck, but people out here making excuses for Shakur. That's going to be a conversation all week long.
Let me say and remind Ricky of this. Ricky, I held Shakur's feet to the furnace flames a while back when he missed weight for the Consequel fight. And I said the lack of professionalism that he displayed, it was unacceptable. He was a 2-belt holding champion, and he showed such unprofessionalism. He made an excuse that he was going to be moving up anyway. No, what he really did was he took training light and everything, and the weight didn't come off because he was enjoying the good life too much, which he eventually just recently admitted to. But I talked about it and him when it happened.
His fans don't see that, though. They ain't hear him say that. The Shakur fans, man.
And they didn't hear me because they hear you peeping through the blinds in the bushes, huh?
They'll steal from you. They'll steal from you.
Oh, he talking about Shakur now. I ain't listening to that. Let me turn on somebody else. Yeah, but I put it out there. I talked about it.
Yeah.
I held his feet. You should smell bacon. I had his feet to the flame so good because I knew what I was looking at with that. Yeah. I knew it. He was being lazy. Yeah. And it caught up to him. And now karma is a SOB. Huh?
It is.
Because
karma has no expiration date.
Look at how he's having a rough go now. And that's good for him. Because either he gonna learn or he gonna burn. But the damage is already done. And look at Devin still ascending.
Still ascending.
You know why? Because he has cut the BS out. He has made sacrifice. He has made the moves that many people won't make. He has done it the right way. And he has had success out of doing it. Success is predicated on your confidence in self and ability to do something and to be prepared. So when preparation meets opportunity, opportunity leads to success. And now that success builds even more confidence, and you are well on your way. That is the process. It ain't about cutting corners, huh? Conor Ben, Shakur Sanchez. It ain't Big Baby. It ain't about cutting corners. It's about rolling the sleeves up. That's and right. getting your hands dirty, going to work. And these guys think that it's simple. It's not simple. Life is hard. If you don't believe me, lay down on the bed and let your family member come. Close your eyes and let them put a pillow over your face. Not hold it down on you. Just lay it over your face. How long do you think you can lay in that position like that before you begin to struggle for your breath? Life is hard. When you see a swan on the lake and it's gliding so smoothly, looking so beautiful and graceful, what you don't realize is that underneath the surface of the water, its feet are paddling like hell to keep it afloat. Because if it stops, it will sink. Many of you all don't know that. Some of you do, but you forget about it because you're drinking those ice houses and all of that stuff, huh? Smoking them tweeds and all of that, and it damages you. You see, but I'm speaking with a clear mind here, and I share these things with you, not because I think I'm better than somebody, because I'm trying to help wake you up to the reality of what's happening out here.
Mm-hmm. Salute to my brother T.D. Harding. He said Stormy and his analogies, LOL, Titan and Stormy. Must watch TV, man. Salute to you, man. Salute to you, good brother.
Salute.
You know, and this is what I'm saying. We could do without, you know what I'm saying, the distractions like the trolls like Champy and things like that, because we actually give a shit about a sport that really don't give a shit about us. And when we're blowing this is the whistle blowing show. If y'all haven't paid attention, no one's talking about Christian and Mbili, but Kano, Stormy, and Stormy put me on to him, and I said, wait a minute, this guy's damn good. No one's talking about him. Did y'all even know he's ranked #1 in the WBC? But you know who Edgar Berlanga is, and they talking about Jaime Munguia, who's been around for the last 8 years, called out Gennady Golovkin 8 years ago, still ain't get that fight, but he's still relevant and had a hard way to go against Derevyanchenko, but somehow they marketed Munguia versus Berlanga to y'all. Hello? Canelo versus Benavidez still ain't happening. What's going on?
Berlanga had a tough fight against a journeyman fighter and bit the guy because the fight was tough. What the hell is he going to do when he gets in there with somebody like Mbili, who's going to take his damn head off his body?
He's going to lose. That's why these guys are well scouted, but you can only hold these guys down but for so much, because you're going to turn around and then Mbili, he's already ranked #1 in the WBC. There's 3 more sanctioning bodies to go. And Munguia is ahead of him. They're going to try and force this Munguia. The Munguia-Berlanga fight is a money grab. Make no mistake about it. Christian and Mbili destroys both of them. And if I'm wrong, they're going to have to show me, because that's what boxing used to be. Show me. All right, this thing with Jermell and Jermall. There's some shit going on with them, and now shit going on with them, and now Canelo pops up in the PBC. Shocker. But y'all want to call us PBC fanboys or Haymanites or whatever. No, everybody's suspect. I don't trust any of you motherfuckers. I don't.
And Canelo on a 3-fight deal. That's a nice nip and tuck number of fights for him, right? Mm-hmm. One being a fight that could end in a rematch. If he happens to lose, of course, he gets his rematch. And then the third fight is a mystery. Huh? But it's not if you're paying attention. If you're woke, huh? It's not.
Mm-hmm. So now we got this Frank Martin versus Shakur Sanchez. I mean, is it a case where we don't trust a motherfucker with 2 first names now? I mean, is that what we doing? That's what we used to say around here. I don't trust no nigga with 2 first names. Is it that? I mean, I don't know. You know, I'm joking when I say that, but I don't know. Just know this: I was rooting for Frank because I didn't like how Shakur was moving. So I was rooting for Frank. But could he have beaten Shakur? I don't know. He was going to have to show me. I had that as a 50-50 fight.
There was nothing there but space and opportunity.
That's it.
And he turned his back.
He turned his back, and that's what. And we're dealing with the facts of what happened. The fight is not happening now. Now we're waiting for an explanation, which is leading everyone up to speculate what's going on. So now I understand when Shakur fans are running all around Twitter talking about, oh, he's scared, everyone's scared. Look, now y'all could say that at least for the weekend, because we don't know what the hell he backed out for. We don't know. It might have been a situation where Derrick James said, look, man, not yet. Get a bigger bag to fight him. But there's another thing, and shout out to the OG Mr. Mont, and I heard him say this. The OG Mr. Mont said it could be he stepped aside for the greater good. What's the greater good? His camp with Shakur is overlapping Errol Spence camp to Bud in the rematch. And Derrick James can't be in two places at one time. I don't care how good he is. It could be that. I don't know. But when Mr. Mont said
let me dismiss that right away. Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Go ahead.
He fought 2 weeks before Bud and Earl. They were training at the same fucking time.
And the result was Errol lost, and Frank didn't look as good. He won, but he didn't look as good.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, in order to do that now, and like you pulling out, listen, Derrick James is running his gym how he runs his gym.
Yep.
Whatever. But chances of a lifetime don't come around often. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
This sucker may not ever get a title shot now.
Thank you. That's the problem.
He may not ever. They can continue to put Sanchez and Lopez and Benitez and Wilfredes and all of that in front of him, and he'll be small fry the rest of his career. Yeah. And end up becoming cannon fodder for another dude that's coming up, possibly Latino, huh? Because that's how they work it, bro.
Yeah.
That's how they work it. He was supposed to take this opportunity. He was supposed to take it.
He was.
Remember, he said after Shakur didn't take the deal with Devin, if that was me, I would have taken it.
He said that.
Did he not say that?
He said that.
Look,
So
I'm not short on memory. It's just that a lot of times I don't like to talk about the stuff that's the drama part of it all. But it's like, don't think for a moment I ain't looking at the bulletin board material. Because when I put something on the bulletin board, it's for you to learn, huh? Learn from the mistakes and everything. And obviously, he ain't been attending my classes because he would know better, huh?
Oh man! So, and you see what IABZ said? When a bully Keyshawn, but he's afraid of big bro Shakur. You see, Frank got to eat comments like this now. He got to eat that. I'm not even sure, even if he explains what happened, and if it has anything to do with money, bro, I'm not interested in listening, bro. Tell me it's not about money, dogs. Tell me it's not about, bro, please don't tell me that, bro. Because I was rooting for you. I really was, man. Take the money, beat Shakur's ass, stop that train at 135 before it gets started, and be on about your way. And then maybe you can say, yo, look, Devin, hey, I'll take that 25% if you offer it.
Listen, I'll go on the record right now and say Keyshawn smokes him.
There it is.
And you know why? Because he got no guts. Now, he would beg to differ. He would say all these other things in defense of himself or whatever, but he showed us who he is by making this decision that he made and not even coming out within 24 hours to explain himself. If he comes out tomorrow or one day this week coming up, too bad, too sad, too late, I'm not listening to that foolishness. You got one time to get it done, bro. One time. This fight, you could have put your all into. You could have put everything that Derek James and Errol Spence had preparing you for a moment. This was your opportunity. And you walked away from it. Why should anybody pay attention to you any further? Why?
Let me say this. Something that I thought about, and then I watched 78's video. He said the exact same thing that I thought. It's just a thought. Again, this is all I don't know, because Frank hasn't said anything, man. This just, I don't know. Could it be that $1 million that he was allegedly about to make? Could it be that these cats at the PBC said, "Nah, don't take that. We got something else for you"? And could it be, and this is just speculation, I don't know. Maybe they say, "Yo, look, don't take that $1 million. Take this $1.5 million or $2 million and go fight Tank, because popular demand is shitting on the Eastside Cruz fight. And they're saying he's ducking black fighters. So get in there and fight Tank, and we got $2 million for you versus Tank. And it's an in-house fight." Could it be? I don't know.
My answer to that is this. That doesn't fit the profile of LB and Mayweather and how they've handled Tank thus far. They haven't listened to sentiment all this time, and they ain't interested in listening to it any other time. They're going to run their horses how they run them, whether we like that or not. Remember, this is something, and even if, let's just say, a fight with Tank happens, what you would have to look at is this. Frank Martin hasn't prepared himself to fight at a certain level. The lack of professionalism shown in this circumstance, because this was the way to go. Shakur had an Olympic background, but he's still teething in the 135-pound division. Mm-hmm. This was an opportunity. Tank has done some things with guys at 140 and 135. And he can get away with some things that Frank may not be ready for, simply because of the world stage. But Shakur is a little bit different. The gap is not as wide. The gap in amateur background experience is wider, but it's there for him. Had he taken it, it's there. It's something that you could see. It's tangible. Now remember, they released so this crossover fight could happen.
Yeah.
Why would they release to let the crossover happen and then pull him back? They wouldn't have did the crossover deal. They would have just told him in-house, "We got something for you." They didn't have to take the media and the fans and everybody and Shakur. They didn't have to take people through these changes. See, that's when it becomes a little bit too much speculatory, because it's like you know, why are we grasping at straws when he's the one that made these decisions and he has to answer for them?
And we ain't had no answer in 24 hours.
Right. If he can't answer them, I'm not going to make up excuses for him. I'm going to say what needs to be said about him. He's yellow. Huh? You know, on those Friday night chop sessions when I was doing the guys wearing the yellow jacket,
The yellow jacket.
the cowards.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna put Frank Martin in one of them now.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Say it ain't so. Damn it. It is what it is, man. I was just sitting there trying to. That's what happens when you sit there and try and make sense of it. You start to like, could it be this? Could it be that? But like I said, it's all speculation. But we won't know until he says something. Now, how fucked up is it going to be if he never says anything? That's bad, man. That's bad. And salute to Paul Carrick in that super chat. My brother always supporting. He says, Jermall being the bigger Charlo was supposed to get Alvarez. He's supposed to get Alvarez first. Do you think that makes him a little jealous of Jermell? Bro, I don't know what's going on with them. But I do recall Jermall saying, it was always my brother that was, supposed to be the one fighting Canelo. And that confused me because when it was Jermall's turn, that's when we saw our first franchise status. So I was like, what the hell's going on here? So you never know with them. I just don't know. I can't make heads or tails about their relationship, what's going on. If that answers the questions. I mean, I don't know. But this is a whistleblowing show. So I'm eager to find out what Frank Martin, has he been radio silent since yesterday? Because I haven't seen anything, but now I heard that it's an ish storm on Twitter right now, and for Frank Martin to walk away from this, two things: he knows what's coming. If he don't give a damn about his name being dragged, that's one thing. But for you to duck your highest payday, I hope your next fight couples what you was gonna make in this fight. That's why I thought of that and like, yo, could the PBC have held him back because they got something more lucrative for him? But there ain't no belt involved, so how lucrative could it be? Oh, I'm sorry, it's not about belts. Ask Big Baby, because he just wants to make enough money to support his family. He doesn't give a fuck. He told you who he was over this weekend, okay? He told you who he was. I'm a text Charles Martin, but like, yo, I think you beat the will out of him.
Big Baby is like Roper from Enter the Dragon. He's in it for the money.
In it for the money. Yeah. So I mean, look, I don't know what's going on. I can't wait to hear from Frank. I just need closure on this because I don't know. And I'm gonna tell you what I'm not gonna do. I'm not standing in the pocket for a lot of these guys. I'm not doing it. Because we've seen what's happened. We've seen what's happened. The pocket is full, bro.
The pocket is full.
I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. All right. All we know is that Frank pulled out, and it's been almost 48 hours now. He hasn't said anything. He owes the people that support him, guys like myself who was rooting for him. Okay.
And you know me, I'm a cynic. I'll come up with all kinds of stuff. He will, from now, in my Palpatine voice, from now on, you will be known as Frank the Preemie. Because he pulls out.
Come on, Frank.
Preemie.
I need an explanation, Frank. I need an explanation. I need to know what's going on. And, hopefully your next fight is a blockbuster hopefully your next fight, we could look and say, oh, that's why you ain't fight Shakur. Okay. But you got to show us, man, because, I mean, come on, bro. Time is cut short. So, yeah, I'm going to get out of here. I got some stuff to do, man. Stormy, let them know how they can find you, big bro.
Man, everybody can find me on YouTube. Stormy B-Man is the channel. All caps, Stormy B-Man, but no cap. Huh?
Love that.
That's what it is.
No doubt, no doubt. And salute to our brother. Where is it? I just missed it. Wait, did I miss it? Oh, okay, yeah, that thing is behind up there. Man, salute to everybody, man. Look at Omega Red. He said, what do y'all expect? His name is the Ghost. God damn it. You see? He got to eat these jokes now. Frank got to eat these jokes. He said, what y'all expect? His name is Ghost. Man, salute to y'all. Venmo, Zelda, Cash App, the Super Chat. Nerds on Culture tomorrow. I'll be talking boxing tomorrow morning. I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm on the ropes with all this bullshit.
Hey, I want to tell everybody to tune in tomorrow morning for the premiere, man, because
what you got going on?
It's a AJ and Wilder.
Ooh.
And it's a long one. It's about 20 minutes, so I'm putting y'all on notice on it right away. It starts at 8 o'clock before Drew's show at 8:30. But the title of it is "What's the Excuse This Time?"
Yeah, what is the excuse?
Yeah.
What is the excuse?
Yeah. So
you know, I'm wondering, what the hell is the excuse? What's the holdup? You know, and we don't call him Anthony Joshua over here no more. We call him the baboon. He's a baboon. Get your ass in the ring. Stop being a fucking, oh my gosh.
And Ed Hearn messing around, saying all these different things. It's like it ain't got nothing to do with Hearn. But this guy,
you are homo!
Got his foot all up in the way and everything. You know, it's ridiculous.
Disgusting, man. Well, I'm gonna get out of here, y'all, man. Salute to all of y'all. Oh yeah, Thomas. Drop your link. I want every other. That's my brother for real. All right. He's putting in a lot of work, y'all. He got a lot of strong connections. We actually working on some things, man. Man, salute to all of y'all, man. And you know, this is boxing. But I'm gonna enjoy Pep Talk tomorrow. That's how I release. You know what I'm saying? Because this shit here, this gets my pressure up. This is crazy, man. Man, salute to all of y'all, man, and salute to the trolls. You know, hopefully you learned something.
Frank releases before the fight.
Oh, God damn it. Damn, man. Frank, you got to say something. I want to know what I need to know what's going on, bro. I need to know what's going on. I'll catch you on the rebound, man. Bronx on deck.
Move! Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.